Hey, so I want to make just a quick video, something I've been coming across, at least when it comes to booking loads. So when I usually go on to a load board, I check depending on which load board I'm using, but whichever one, I'm usually picking a step deck flatbed option, right? Which makes sense based on the type of trailer I have. But what I've been running into, what I noticed is that there's some things where I can see where this is not ideal for a load versus a step deck, even though it's lower. So from what I understand, when I talk to brokers, shippers or whatever, the reason why they want a step deck is, one reason is the height. So because the deck is so much lower, if you got like a tall piece of equipment, they don't have to worry about the height restrictions or getting any kind of OD permits or anything like that. That's one reason. Also, another reason is for loading. So with step decks, because the decks are pretty much on the ground, you can drive equipment on it really easy, which is what this load was. This was a step deck load, or is a step deck load. So I talked to the broker. I told him what kind of equipment I had, and he was like, "Oh, well, as long as you have ramps, it's fine," which is what most of them will say. And for most equipment, it hasn't been a problem. What I've noticed though is with like these types of equipment. So this is, I forget what they call it. It's for like paving highways, I think. And they put like the asphalt in there. So the idea is all that doesn't really matter. What really matters is, you look under here, it's got tracks, right? So the broker's like, well, they could just drive it up on as long as you got ramps, which I do. So I was like, yeah, I got flip over ramps. Flip them over, drive them up. Now, it's all well and good, sounds good. The problem comes in is like, so if you look at how high up off the ground that these decks are, I mean, that's even with this one right here, where even with the mega ramps, it's probably not as bad on there, but it's a pretty steep incline to drive some equipment on. Tractor's usually not a problem. Like I said, these tend to be a little squirrely because the tracks on the bottom are metal, and my ramps are metal, just like how they are on those too. So what happens is, and what happened with this one, it happened to me when I had a roller too, is so trying to get up on those steep ramps with something that has metal, that metal on metal, there's no traction. So with the steep incline and the metal on metal, it almost doesn't work sometimes. So we were able to get this on, if you notice up in here. So we had to put that, what you see way up in there, that's a tire. So the guys were what they did was they laid a bunch of tires, so you can see a little bit better there. They ran a bunch of tires. There you go. They laid them on my tracks, and they drove up, and that gave it a little bit more traction, but it was a bit squirrely. So I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't say that doing this kind of equipment is off the table, but it's definitely something to think about when I book loads now going forward. Like, what kind of equipment is it? Where is it? I mean, we were able to get it on, but it almost didn't happen. And like I said, with the roller I had the one time, it loaded on a dock, so I was able to drive it pretty much straight on. But when they went to unload it, it was such a steep angle, like the guy was backing it off, and he basically slid all the way down. And I told the guy to be careful, and I gave him a little bit. I backed up to where it wasn't as much of a steep incline, but once you get that metal on metal, there's no stopping that. So from what I understand where this is going, I think this is going actually where I picked up the roller, where they'll be able to just drive it off onto a dock without having to worry about going on such a steep decline. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video about at least what I've experienced when it comes to different types of loads. Like I said, this one, This one, it was like I said, it almost didn't happen. That getting heavy equipment up a steep incline with no traction, metal on metal, it's not gonna work in most cases. So yeah, anyway, what do you guys think? Yeah, this is how do you guys out there handle if you're doing flatbed, if you got a Hotshot and you got to do you got to load a piece of equipment that's got metal tracks or wheels or treads, however you want to put it. How do you get that up onto your metal ramps safely? You know, that's kind of the key point. Is this thing, even though it's pretty strong, it's just not designed to go up such steep inclines, and the traction doesn't help it. Also too, because it was such a steep incline, they had to constantly keep adjusting this thing up and down, because what would happen, it would start to drag and dig. So that's why I had to like back into like a weird corner, so it had less of an angle. So not too much angle going up, but then at the same time, I didn't want it to, we were trying to keep it from digging too at the same time. So anyway, yeah, well, let me know what you think. Any tips you guys got for loading step deck equipment onto a flatbed when it comes to the ramp situation? All right, that's it for today. Just wanted to make this quick video. As always, thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, shoot me an email, rocketshiptsuploads@gmail.com, and I'll catch all of you in the next video. Peace.